be a grizzly bear escaped from Grouse Mountain coming into here and suddenly attack me. Now, that's not even a problem, because a problem needs time. It's a challenge. In this moment, I wouldn't say, now I really have a problem. It's a challenge. And so either nobody can predict how you respond to a challenge. I might either play dead, run away, or who knows, or make friends with it. Coming to the present moment. And so, yes, there are situations in your life that you need to deal with, or you might have to wait some time before you can deal with them, or there's nothing you can do about them. That's all true. But the magical question you can ask yourself many times in your life is, especially when you're burdened by problems, do I have a problem right now? You may be ill. Yes, you might feel a disability, you might feel a weakness, you might feel dysfunction on a physical level. That's the fact of what is. This does not become a problem until your mind gets in there and starts constructing a story around it. So you can you be in the present moment and go into it? What problem do I actually have now? Well, now, I have to, the moment you go to problems, you go into the future. Tomorrow I'm meeting that guy and I have to think about what I'm going to say to him, and then my lawyer has to see him about my divorce, not mine, but it's just an example. I have to declare bankruptcy tomorrow. That's a huge problem. My company is not mine, by the way. A huge problem. Okay, yeah, I have to think about. But do you have a problem at this moment? What? Yeah, I have to think. This moment. No, I don't see it. I don't see the bankruptcy anywhere. Well, that's strange. All I see is there's the lights and there's flower and I can feel myself breathing. So the bankruptcy is also a mental construct, because in the moment I take action. When it comes, tomorrow, which is not tomorrow, it'll be now, then I take action. I'd say this, I'd sign that paper, and then I do that, and then I do that, and then I look at my bank statement and it will say 0. And again, just looking at that is not a problem until your mind, I'm not saying take no action, action may be necessary, but it's not a problem. It's only the desire of the egoic mind to create problems by dwelling unnecessary on situations that creates the problem. And the ego grows. The more problems you have, the bigger the ego gets. There are many human beings who consider themselves as a problem to be solved. That's their identity. And many people go to a therapist with that underlying assumption. There's nothing wrong with therapists. Therapists do great work if they are connected with a deeper level of God. And they go to therapists with the assumption that I am a problem that needs to be solved. That's my identity. But of course, when it really comes to the crunch, they resist it because they derive their identity from their problem, so they don't want to let go. Because who am I without that? Oh, okay, better stay in my problems. So, what problem do I have at this moment? None. Never. a problem. You could have pain, yes, it's pain, not to be underestimated, but it's not a problem. But most things that make people happy it's not even pain. It's in the head, it's a problem-making faculty in the head. In the present moment, problems cannot survive. And then you actually become much more effective at taking action when you don't create problems. So challenges remain. It does not mean that life will not present challenges anymore. They keep coming. It's in the nature of things. And that's how you evolve. You evolve by meeting limitation. You evolve by meeting difficult situations. Even in movies you see it. Movies are kind of reflection of human existence. And when virtually every movie that you see, I can give you the plot in the most general terms in one sentence or two sentences or one sentence. Early on in the movie, in order to be a movie that is worth watching, early on in the movie, or at some point soon, something goes wrong. Every movie. If nothing goes wrong, nobody wants to watch it. Now, in a bad movie, something goes wrong and then it's resolved on a purely external level. Finally, the bad guy is caught or is killed, and then everybody is happy. In a good movie, something goes wrong, the characters in the movie are confronted with challenges, and by being confronted with challenges, they grow, they evolve, they develop abilities they didn't have, they become more conscious, they become stronger. So there is a change in the character by being confronted with the challenges of life. But the vital fact remains, something must go wrong, because otherwise there's no movie. And that seems to be a general principle in life, that evolution happens through challenges. Every life form encounters challenges, and by being confronted with a seemingly insoluble challenge, it develops abilities that it didn't have. I'm sure that's how, if we are to believe evolution first happened in the ocean, and at some point fish that lived in the ocean must have come onto land and started trying to walk. I mean, no fish would do that voluntarily. My theory is that there must have been a huge body of water that became cut off, and gradually the water was receding over a long, long period of time. And then fish were forced to move out. And I believe the similar thing happened when reptiles took flight for a bird to grow wings. It's just a miracle. And not without the pressure of problems and limitations. Look in your own life. For many of you, you can see if you had not met certain challenges, if you had not met certain difficult situations in your life, you would not even be here. You evolved through that to the point where you're ready to not only to hear this, but to awaken spiritually, to transcend the personality. So the personality must have suffered in order for you to even have the desire to transcend the personality. If everything goes fine, if there could even be a human being who never encounters challenges, that would be dreadful. You would be like the guy who this young man who killed all these people, who was drunk and killed 4 or 5 people, and then got off because the judge accepted that he was suffering from affluenza, which means he was so protected from life through affluence of his parents that he couldn't tell right from wrong. And That would be a dreadful limitation. Or of course, now he's in prison. Finally, life is caught up with him. So it's, in a movie then, we are happy when things go wrong, basically. But in your own life, you're not. But there is no life without it, and there's no movie without it. So when challenges come, instead of mentally complaining, accept that this is part of the universal evolution of consciousness that happens through challenges. No human and no life form escapes the challenges and limitations that life suddenly, and for some, it's extreme limitations for some. And there's always the potential of a shift in consciousness. So let's be grateful when challenges come big and small. They come in different sizes. You may meet some challenges even when you leave here. Something, you just missed the bus, or there's a flat tire, or you bump into somebody unpleasant. Who knows what? And those are small challenges. So you practice with the small and the big. Some people say, I'm good. Somebody wrote to me, I read a letter the other, I'm good with the big challenges, but the small ones really upset me every day. Well, at least you're good with the big ones, but it's practicing with the small ones. The small things that go, the mind says, this should be different. It shouldn't be going like that, it should be like that. All the shoulds of your mind, you come in conflict with the isness of the present moment. Don't argue with the isness of the present moment. Be the Zen master that goes, is that so? And so whatever happens, now don't mentally create this image to live up to, and then you beat yourself up because you're not yet the Zen master and you forgot to say, is that so? And of course, it's not in the words, it's in what lies behind the words, the openness to what is. There's another Zen story. A disciple came to the Zen master. He had been in the monastery for a few years, and he says, I'm going to move on because I'm not enlightened. I'm going to move to another monastery. It's several months away from here. I'm going to walk. And can you give me some spiritual practice for my journey? And yes, the Zen master said, whatever situation you encounter, whoever you meet, whatever the situation is, just say these words, thanks for everything, I have no complaint whatsoever, and you'll be enlightened. And so he went off, and then a year later he came back, and the Zen master said, well, did you practice? And the disciple said, yes, I did. I always said, thanks for everything, I have no complaint, but it didn't work, I'm not enlightened. And the Zen master said, thanks for everything, I have no complaint whatsoever. And at that moment, the disciple became enlightened. At that moment, in other words, he realized what's behind the words. I have no complaint whatsoever. Wow. Can I go through life with no complaint whatsoever? And thanks for gratitude for this moment. Not necessarily gratitude from some mental construct. We're thinking, oh, I'm much better off than this guy, so I really should be grateful. And then you always need somebody less well off than you, otherwise you can't be grateful. That is looking for gratitude on the conceptual level of a narrative. No. Direct gratitude is gratitude for the present moment. You can have gratitude, thanks for these flowers. You don't necessarily have to thank somebody. It's a thank. It is an appreciation of what is. The appreciation of, you see the quality of it, the beauty of it, the aliveness of it, that's the gratitude, that's the thing. You give it attention and you sense its inherent aliveness, and that's thanks for everything. I have no complaint whatsoever. Now, of course, you have to go, this disciple went, he practiced the words when he was on his journey, and then he came back to the Zen master and realized it's not in the words, it's the words, what lies behind the words. I have no complaint whatsoever. That's an amazing thing. And that is how the awakening happens. So you cooperate with the arising consciousness. You cooperate because the consciousness wants to evolve. The one consciousness wants to evolve through you. It wants to express itself into this world. And then the light of consciousness shines through you into this world. And that's the only way the world can be transformed. A sufficient number of humans who embody that awakened consciousness and transcend the egoic personality. Transcend means it's still there, but you've gone beyond, and then it exists at a lower level of your being, and it's fine. No longer a problem maker. Personality is then fine. It's no longer a problem-making entity. Well, I will leave you with that. That was the secret of the universe.